In today's video, I'm going to show you how to schedule your automation scenarios in Make, the powerful no-code automation platform that lets you connect hundreds of apps and run workflows entirely on autopilot. Scheduling is one of the most essential skills you'll develop inside Make. It's what transforms a scenario you have to run by hand into a genuinely hands-free system that works for you around the clock. If that sounds useful, please hit like and subscribe, and let's get started. Before we touch anything, it helps to understand what a schedule actually does in Make. Every scenario needs a trigger, something that tells it when to wake up and run. When you attach a schedule to that trigger, you are essentially setting an alarm clock for your automation. Make checks that clock, fires the scenario at exactly the right moment, processes your data, and goes back to sleep. You never have to think about it again. To begin, open your scenario inside the scenario builder. Look at your trigger module. That's the first bubble on the left side of your canvas, the one where your workflow originates. You'll notice a small clock icon attached directly to it. Click that icon. Alternatively, if you look at the toolbar running along the top of the builder, you'll find a schedule option sitting right next to the activation toggle for your scenario. Either entry point takes you to the same scheduling panel, so use whichever feels more natural to you. Once the scheduling panel opens, you'll be asked to choose a frequency, and this is where things get genuinely flexible. Make gives you 6 distinct run patterns, and picking the right one for your use case makes all the difference. The first option is regular intervals. This is probably the most commonly used pattern. You set a fixed cycle, for example every 15, 30, or 60 minutes, and Make repeats the scenario on that rhythm indefinitely. This is perfect for things like checking a form for new submissions, polling an inbox, or syncing data between two systems that update frequently throughout the day. The second option is every day, which lets you pick a single time, say 8 in the morning, and Make runs the scenario once at that time every single day. This is ideal for daily reports, morning digest emails, or any task that should happen on a predictable daily cadence. The third option is days of the week, which gives you even finer control. You can select, for instance, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., making it perfect for business workflows that should only run on working days and not clutter your weekends with unnecessary activity. The fourth pattern is days of the month. Here you select specific calendar dates, maybe the 1st of every month and the 15th, and Make executes the scenario on those exact dates. This is the go-to choice for billing cycles, monthly newsletters, or any process tied to the calendar rather than a weekly rhythm. The fifth option is specific date, which schedules the scenario to run exactly once at a date and time you choose. Think of it as a one-shot alarm, useful for a product launch, a one-time migration, or a campaign that fires on a specific day. After it runs, it won't fire again unless you reschedule it. The sixth option is on demand, and this one behaves differently from all the others. When you choose on demand, the scenario does not run automatically on a timer at all. Instead, it waits to be triggered manually, either by you clicking the Run Once button inside the builder or by an external API call. This is invaluable during testing and development, but it's also genuinely useful in production when you need a scenario that should only fire in response to a deliberate action, not a clock. After you've chosen your frequency, take a moment to click Show Advanced Settings. This optional panel is easy to overlook, but it contains a very powerful refinement: time windows. A time window lets you restrict when during the day Make is actually allowed to execute the scenario, even if the interval would otherwise fire. For example, you might have a scenario set to run every 15 minutes, but you only want it active between 9 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon on business days. Without a time window, it would fire through the night as well. With one set, it silently skips any scheduled run that falls outside your defined hours. This is especially important if the scenario sends emails or messages. Your recipients will thank you for not automating contact at 2 in the morning. Before you save, check the time zone setting carefully. Make can display the scheduling panel in your account's default time zone, but if your organization spans multiple regions or if you set this scenario up while traveling, the time zone might not be what you expect. A scenario intended to run at 8 a.m., your time running at 8 a.m. in a different time zone is a silent, hard to diagnose problem. Confirm the time zone shown matches the one your workflow actually depends on, and adjust it here if needed. Now save the schedule by clicking the Save button. But saving alone is not enough. This is a step many beginners miss. Look at the bottom of the scenario builder for the activation toggle. If that toggle is switched off, your scenario is saved but completely dormant. It will never run on the schedule you just configured, no matter how carefully you set it up. Switch the toggle to the on position, and you'll see it turn green. That green light means your scenario is live, scheduled, and actively waiting for its next trigger. And that's it. You've successfully scheduled an automation in Make. Your scenario will now run exactly when you told it to, without you lifting a finger. The real power here is compounding. Once you have a handful of well-scheduled scenarios running in the background, entire chunks of your day-to-day work simply disappear from your to-do list. A great next step is to revisit your scenario after its first scheduled run and check the execution history. Make logs every run with detailed results, so you can confirm everything fired correctly and troubleshoot anything unexpected. Save this video so you can come back to these steps whenever you're setting up a new scenario, and I'll see you in the next one.